Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Tomasulo!
Stop. Come on. All right. Okay. All right. Let's make me earn that a little bit, okay? Thank you guys all for coming out tonight. So great to have everybody here. So glad everybody could make this date. I was initially going to do this next weekend, but I got to go to a wedding next weekend. Do you remember during the lockdown when nobody could get married? How amazing was that? It's like I tell people who are getting married, I'm like, you gotta understand something. It's the most important day of your life. Do you know what day it is to everybody else? It's Saturday, and you're ruining the whole goddamn thing. And don't get me started on these people who get married on Sunday afternoons. Who raised these people? They're always like, we really just wanted a brunch wedding. No, you wanted 20% off the venue. Don't bullshit me. Who do you think you're talking to? Now you got your brunch wedding, and I got a cha-cha slide at 2 in the afternoon on the Lord's Day. Not proper. I don't wobble before sundown, you heathens. I won't do it. These weddings are too much work. They're all day. They do like the ceremony at 1, and then the reception's not until 6. Last wedding I went to, I asked the bride, I'm like, what am I supposed to do to kill 5 hours? And this woman goes, there's a park near the venue. I said, a park? Get the hell out of here. You're not going to believe this. I was just telling somebody, do you know what I would love to do today? I would love to walk around a park in a full suit and tie under direct sunlight on the hottest day in July. It was like, I went over the summer, I went to a barn wedding. A wedding in a barn. That's the hot new wedding trend, pretending to be farmers. He's a doctor, she's a lawyer. They thought they'd try on lower middle class for a day. Instead of a gift, I just gave him a government subsidy just to stick with the whole farming theme. His bride wouldn't shut up about this barn the whole night. She's like, how about this barn? Is this barn something? Doesn't it have such character? I was like, yeah, you know what it doesn't have? Central air. Nobody should be dehydrated at a wedding. Look around. These people are dropping like flies. I'm trying to take in fluids, but I can only fit so much water in this mason jar you're making me drink out of. What other ideas did Chip and Joanna give you for the big day? Did you throw up a little shiplap? Maybe a couple of giant clocks, you dicks? And I didn't know anybody at the wedding. Isn't that the worst? When you don't know anybody at the wedding, they put you at that table with all the other bottom of the guest list rejects, right? It's like you, their mechanic, the groom's buddy from the gym, right? You gotta make small talk with this meathead all night. Only 2 groups of people really like weddings. People in their 20s, because they're broke and it's open bar. And people in their 70s, because they're just happy they're not at a funeral. But to everybody else, it's a 6th work day, and you people who do destination weddings, you can go straight to hell. You get engaged, and now I have to renew my passport? That's not how this works. It's not how this works. We had friends of ours who got married in Colombia. Yeah, neither one of them Colombian. They just wanted to be different. I was like, well, yeah, trying to avoid being kidnapped is pretty different for a wedding. Maybe for the flight home, I'll shove an 8-ball up my ass to really complete the experience of Colombia. I went to one destination wedding. It was at an all-inclusive resort, one of those all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink joints. You ever been to one of those? Yeah. Aren't those places like Spring Break for people over 75? I swear to God, every couple at those resorts looks exactly the same. It's always like a short, chubby lady in a one-piece with a sun visor, right? Carrying like a hotel-issued tote bag with everything from their room in it, followed by a leathery guy with a giant pot belly and a gold chain resting on his chest hair, just shuffling behind her, right? Just shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. On their way to the swim-up bar where they will sit all day long without getting out. Just them and a bunch of their other bladder-challenged colleagues just stewing in their own filth. Yeah, by the end of the day, just a toxic mix of urine and suntan oil and sweat makes that film across the top of the pool, right? Somebody lights a match, the whole island goes up in flames. People think Syria is the most dangerous place on earth. No, it's Sandals, Ocho Rios. That's the most dangerous place. I miss traveling. Don't you guys miss traveling? I want to travel again. Before the pandemic, I took my very first trip to Europe. I took my wife to Italy for our anniversary. And I was really nervous before we left on this trip because I'd never been to another country. You know, I didn't want to stick out. I don't want to be like one of those stereotypical ugly Americans you hear about. You know, the kind of guy who runs around another country in gym shoes and high white socks and a shirt that says back-to-back World War champs. Right? You know that guy? Because you gotta see us in other countries. We walk around like we own the joint. It's unbelievable. We're so cocky. I was at a restaurant one day. I will never forget this. I saw an American tourist get all pissed off at the waitress because her English wasn't good enough. In Italy. Could you imagine if the roles were reversed? What do you think would happen if a Mexican guy lost his shit in Cracker Barrel because nobody spoke Spanish? Huh? How do you think that story ends for Javier? If it's a stand your ground state, I'm pretty sure it's adios muchacho. I made sure I learned a couple of phrases before we went. You know, I figured I was a guest in their country. Plus, I wanted to live like them, you know? I would eat like them every morning at breakfast. I'd have like a little pastry and a cappuccino, and I'd feel so elegant and European. And then a tour group from Wisconsin would just waddle in and destroy that whole fantasy. Just a dozen wildebeests in tank tops and sweatpants, just tearing the hell out of a buffet. And they would zero in on Americans immediately. I spent the whole week pretending I was Greek so these people would leave me alone. I'm on the trip of a lifetime and some guy from Sheboygan wants to talk college football with me. No, save it for Applebee's, Cletus, not Vatican City. I don't want to know you right now. Notice a lot of differences between Europeans and Americans. Europeans are a lot more giving than we are. We're generous. There's a difference. Like when there's a hurricane or something, we'll raise millions of dollars. But let's be honest, that's really the only time we give a shit about each other. I'm guilty of it. I am. I can admit it. I would write a check to the Red Cross for $5,000 before driving anybody in this room to the airport. But they're big with gestures over there. One of my buddies went 6 months before I did. Before he left, he found some distant cousin over there that he had never met. Not only does this cousin meet him at the train station, he brought his entire goddamn village. There were little kids playing the flute, people throwing rose petals. The mayor showed up. Somebody tried to give him a goat. Like, all of this for a distant cousin he had never met. Meanwhile, I grew up with my first cousin, and I won't accept his Facebook request because he annoys me. I will say, though, that trip made me appreciate America. It really did. I know we got our problems in this country, right? But I still believe that this is the greatest country on earth. I really do. I really do. And I do think I do think you got to see some other places before you can make that determination. And I did. I saw some incredible places I could have only dreamed of, okay? But I'm going to tell you what, if you were to take away culture and history and natural beauty and food and number of educated citizens and mortality rates and access to basic goods and services and overall quality and pace of life and emphasis on things that are important and that matter, those places have nothing on us. They do seem to like us a bit more now that Trump is no longer president. Yeah. Half the room, that's about right. This is the suburbs. But being honest, it was probably less than half the room. Calm down, I'm not gonna get political. I don't want to divide the room. I know Trump is a very polarizing guy, right? He's like cilantro. Right? Or anal, right? You either love it or you hate it. There's no, I can really take it or leave it. You people who hate him, though, I'm convinced you wouldn't feel that way if he had a different job. I really am. Like if he was never president or a billionaire, but I want you to imagine that guy was your wacky local TV weatherman. How amazing would that be? How amazing. Could you imagine him in front of a weather map every night, giving zero weather, just talking shit about everybody? You would love him. Constantly making fun of all the other weather guys for how small their Dopplers are, right? Only given the temperature in places like Intercourse, Pennsylvania and Spread Eagle, Wisconsin, you would never miss a newscast. You would leave functions early to get home and watch him live. People would be like, dude, where are you going? What do you mean, where am I going? Trumpet 10. I never missed that maniac. Plus, it's gonna snow tomorrow. I'll bet you $20 he promises the anchor lady a solid 9 inches. Come on, bet me. Bet me. Come on. It was some election, right? Historic turnout, him and Biden. What was it? They said 66% of the country voted, most ever. A lot of people were excited about that number. Not me. Have you seen what's out there? Do you want 66% of those dopes out there ice skating in circles, choosing the next leader of the free world? Is that what you want? You want 2 out of every 3 mouth-breathing goblins you interact with on a daily basis, choosing the most powerful person on earth? I got my doubts about 2 out of 3 people in this room, and you people are here supporting my dreams. Every election, every 4 years, they're like, we need everybody to vote. No, we need some people to stay home. That's how we keep ending up in these messes. We don't need more people. We don't need to lower the voting age. Every year somebody brings up that nonsense, right? We ought to lower the voting age to 16. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's exactly what we need, is more voters who jerk off into a sock. That's exactly what we need. I've been saying that forever. And everyone's like, no, this generation is different. Oh, we talking about your son, the environmentalist? The one who talks about saving the rainforest, yet takes 45-minute showers every night? So that's what he's doing in there all that time, isn't it? A couple of teenagers get some attention. They think every one of them is Greta Thunberg. They're not. They're morons. My nephew just got pink eye because one of his buddies farted on his head at his sleepover. But yeah, let him vote on the fair tax amendment. I think he can handle that responsibility. No, we got to keep some people home. That's why I propose every 4 years we schedule WrestleMania, the Daytona 500, a Real Housewives reunion, a Fast and the Furious marathon. We'll keep a lot of these idiots on their couch ordering Pizza Hut and let the smart people choose the next president. Why are you all clapping? I'd eliminate half of you. Now, some young kids are politically active. They are. We saw that during the Black Lives Matter protest, right? There you go. That's an indictment on all of you, not me. Now, what a moment that was, right? For African Americans, for insufferable white kids in their 20s. Boy, did they shine, huh? I feel like every protest, I saw at least one fat white girl with blue hair just screaming in some cop's face. It's like, dude, we get it. Your father voted for Trump, and now you feel like you need to do your part. We get it. You're very upset. You weren't that upset when he dropped $250,000 on that art history degree it took you 5 years to earn. But now you're walking dogs for a living, so the struggle is real. Saw another kid, this skinny white guy with a man bun, with jean shorts, right? This dude's holding up a sign that said, "Stop killing us." Us? Did the cops shoot a bunch of hipsters? Did I miss that? Were they just rolling up on bike repair shops and thrift stores, just mowing people down? Just spoiling everybody's kombucha? These white kids are out of control. They are. But this is what you get when you have an entire generation of people who've never been punched in the face. This is what you get. This is what you get. I think we should make it a law in this country. Everybody, when they turn 18, gets punched in the face now. Right? You can't know when it's coming. When the day comes, your designated puncher just follows you around, observes your behavior, and the second you step over some social line, you know, as soon as you mouth off to a barista, fucking crack, no frappuccino for you. I just worry that kind of behavior takes away from the movement, you know, because Black lives gotta matter. They do. We gotta stop Asian hate, right? Got a lot of people in my neighborhood. Yeah, got a lot of people in my neighborhood who are putting signs in their window that say "Stop Asian Hate." And that's about it, because that's what wealthy white liberals do. They're like, "Kids, tonight we're gonna make some signs and order Chinese food, out of respect." Thought about making a donation instead. I just tipped extra at the nail salon. That way it went right to the source. I don't know. I just wonder how many of these people would really put their money where their mouth is. I question that, you know? There's a house in our neighborhood, this big, gorgeous house. They got all the signs out front in their front yard, right? Stop Asian hate, science is real, love is love, Black lives matter. I want to buy the house next door. And when they come out like, "Hey, are you guys the new neighbors?" Be like, "Neighbors, what, this? No, I'm going to knock this down and build a mixed income housing development." Yeah. Yeah. 30 families from the south and west side. We didn't know where to build it, but we saw all the signs. We thought this would be the perfect place. High five, they matter. We did it. I have noticed that white guys generally don't seem to be big fans of Black Lives Matter. Know there are a lot of you here tonight. I don't really have any hard scientific data to back up my claim. But I have talked to my uncle about Colin Kaepernick, and I feel like that's a pretty good indication of the white male consensus. That never bothered me, a guy kneeling for the anthem. You know, I never felt like I had a right to be upset about that. I didn't, because I've gone to sporting events and spent the national anthem in the shitter. So, if kneeling is disrespectful, what I did in the Wrigley Field men's room in late July might have been treason. I don't know. I was thinking about it. To me, there's only one white guy who has a right to be upset with Black Lives Matter. One white guy whose life was completely and totally destroyed. The original Jake from State Farm. And that's the only one. How blindsided was that guy? he's like, but wait, you guys have been telling me you love the character. They're like, no, we do love the character. We're just going to replace you with a much younger black guy, put him in commercials with the most famous athletes on the planet, and pretend like nothing ever happened. God, when that was going down, you know Flo, the progressive lady, had to be shitting a brick. Right? Right? On the phone with that mayhem guy constantly. She's like, listen, you, me, the limu emu, we gotta stick together. We gotta unionize. Meanwhile, poor original Jake. I give it 6 months until he's hanging out with the My Pillow guy. That's the only way this ends. It's the only way this ends. I just love how State Farm thought like that was really going to help the movement, right? All these companies, they got to take stands now, right? Because they're afraid. They're always, they always feel like they got to do the right thing. They're always getting boycotted every week and protested. People are pissed off at Amazon all the time. Listen, is Jeff Bezos the devil? Quite possibly. But is that enough to make me give up Prime shipping on a NutriBullet? Not a goddamn chance. Do you have any idea the level of evil that man would have to reach before I am ready to give up same-day shipping on any product imaginable? That guy would have to be Osama bin Laden, and even then, flip a coin. I can't make any promises. I get why people don't like Amazon and protest Amazon. I even tried to. I wanted to boycott Amazon. I really did. But then my mother's birthday was on a Wednesday, and I remembered on a Monday. And I was like, these people don't need health insurance. What are you talking about? Bathroom breaks. Will that charm bracelet still get to my mother on time? Because if not, here's an empty Gatorade bottle. Get back in line, champ, and get to work. I don't mean that. We gotta lift everybody up, right? We gotta be inclusive. We're a very inclusive society, right? Body positivity. We're all for body positivity. It's a great thing. Here's my one problem with the body positive movement, though. Why is it that you can't make fat jokes anymore because that's body shaming, but Mr. 5'7" up here still hears short jokes all the time? Last week, one of my tall buddies called me Tyrion Lannister, the little guy from Game of Thrones. Every time I walked in the room, he'd be like, "Hand to the queen!" That seemed pretty hurtful. I think short jokes are way more offensive than fat jokes. I really do. Because I get made fun of for something that I have had not an ounce of control over my entire life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get short. It wasn't like I was 6'3" and then I just let myself go. Nobody's ever been like, that Tomasulo kid could have played in the NBA, but then he lost all that height. Look at him now. Just saying, a fat guy has options and I have none. That's all I'm saying. It's not like I can go on keto for a year and then all of a sudden I get to stand in the back row of a group picture. Like, this is it. This is the finished product. Doesn't matter what I do. I can do all the stretching that I want. I can drink all the milk in the world, but I will never sit a respectable distance from the steering wheel of my car. That'll never happen. Every time I get my car back from a valet, it's just 30 seconds of me going, "Brrrr." Now listen, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about me. I'm not a heartless person, okay? If you're struggling with your weight, I feel for you. I do. It sucks. It really does. But you know what else sucks? Is climbing on your kitchen counter to get a bowl off the top shelf. That sucks too. But nobody advocates for short people, right? It's not cool. People pushed and pushed and Sports Illustrated put a plus-size model on the cover of the swimsuit edition, which I think is great. I'm all for it. But do you think anybody at that magazine was like, hey guys, next year for the cover, how about one of the Little Women of Atlanta? How about one of those 3'5" hotties? Hell, at that size, we could fit 4 of them on the cover. Because then and only then will short people have an equal footing in this society. Because right now, we're not getting the same opportunities. We're not. I'll never get a job that should go to a tall guy, but somehow Oprah's the face of Weight Watchers. Ooh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize Oprah was such a sacred cow to all of you. How dare I? But you know I'm right. You know I'm right. If you joined a gym and you saved up for months for personal training sessions, and on day 1, out came Oprah, how would you react? Be like, you got anybody else back there? Anybody? Gail? Is Gail back there? Stedman? Oprah has her own line of cauliflower pizza. What a time to be alive, huh? What a time. What a journey we're all on, huh?